I've got like a whole pen and paper. How cute am I? I thought, why not? I'm going to take this very, very seriously today. The main thing I could say is that I've had a very, very strong fandom for a while now. You do not need to have millions of followers to get brand deals. That is a complete nonsense. And if anyone can tell you to not listen to people at school, it's me. I've literally had so much grief from people at my school. Guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I thought I'd do something a little bit different. My camera actually has just completely bugged out a video that's supposed to be filmed for today, but I thought, why not? I'm literally just in Spain and I've got to send this over very, very soon. So I thought a quick and easy video that I've never actually filmed, but I feel like so many of you guys asked me to film, is a how to get into social media, what I'd recommend, things like that.
It's getting closer to midnight. I try to get closer to you.
I thought, why not do a whole video talking about my top tips to be a social media influencer or content creator if you don't want to consider yourself as an influencer, like I don't like to consider myself. But I thought, why not do a whole video basically telling you guys top tips and kind of showing my own secrets about the whole industry in itself. Before I start this video, I'd like to say as a big quick disclaimer that everyone is different. Your journeys are all going to be different. If I set out right now 100 of you guys and give you all the same thing, one of you could grow in a week, one of you could grow in a year. It takes a long time and it's a long process, but if you have the determination and the courage, then you can do it. Anyone can do it. But I would say as well, I'm not going to sit here and glamorize the whole thing. It can be very stressful, it can be tough, and obviously they say you can have thick skin, but even the thick skin people, it can bring you down at times, because you do get people commenting exactly what they think about your life and giving you judgments that maybe you wouldn't necessarily get from people that you know, and because it's on social media they think it's okay to do that, which personally obviously I have no like I don't agree with that at all, like with the whole hate, but it does happen. So just as a quick disclaimer, obviously be careful and be mindful that this is something big, and make sure you always speak to your family or someone before you just start doing the whole social media thing about being public and things like that. But also, if you're under the age of 16, I'd recommend having an adult control or just monitor your accounts. So I have my mum and dad monitor my TikTok and my YouTube and my Instagram, but having an adult under the age means that basically you can't get banned because they're obviously overlooking all your stuff, and it just keeps it a lot more safe because obviously you are quite young to be on social media anyways. They're just kind of like the few general, but getting on to more basic things that are kind of just top tips of mine, I've got like a whole pen and paper. How cute am I? I thought, why not? I'm going to take this very, very seriously today. Okay, so as like the basics of social media, I'd like to start off by saying that if you try put on an act, if you want to be someone you're not, people will see straight through you and they'll no longer like you. If you start from the beginning of your journey, how you really are, present yourself nicely, but also exactly how you would be, if that's you're really, really funny, don't try put on some like, oh, I'm so prestige. Be exactly who you are, because people will see straight through you, like I just said. And also, no one wants to be watching someone that's trying to be someone they're not. We want to watch the real people. When I watch all these influencers and I see like only be showing all their good things, I think, well, that's a lie, because everyone has a bad day. So it would be nice to see more of someone's bad days as well as good. Obviously I don't mean like film yourself crying and post on YouTube whole 10-minute video talking about it. I would say definitely like make sure that you're very open and honest with your followers, and try be as grounded as you can and humble, because I feel like sometimes it gets to people's heads and a lot of people think they're someone they're not, and they think they're better than others. And personally, I've never even considered myself as one of these people, but there's a lot of girls in the industry my age, older, that I do look at and I think you do think you're someone special. And of course they are special because they're doing something so amazing, but it does not mean that you can kind of like take power of that and try like I don't know what the word is, assert authority over other people. I don't really know what the word is, but just try to be humble and be yourself, because no one wants someone that's really, really like up their own bums, and yeah, that's just not nice. No one wants that. I also would say be unique. Don't try follow the trends as much. This is more for YouTube. I say obviously follow the trends more, because the videos that do well on YouTube normally do well overall for everyone, even if you haven't got a major following. But more for TikTok and things like that, definitely try to be unique, do something different, talk about something new, because people have a lot on their For You page and it takes a second to swipe. On the YouTube video it's a bit annoying to turn off and people just kind of sit there and watch them. So with TikTok, make sure that it's engaging, but also with your YouTube videos, you want to make sure that the thumbnails are engaging. You've got pictures, you've got like the whole text looks good, the title's all clear. Like, make sure that you're really presenting your stuff well, because also as like a further thing is that brands will then see that and be like, wow, she really takes pride in what she does and she does it well. And or he, I'm not just saying this to girls, and it will make more brands want to work with you too. I'd also say post consistently is a very, very key topic, because people get very, very bored and very, very tired when they're doing social media, especially when they're not growing, or when they've grown to a certain extent they just think I'll make the money and leave. I would always recommend not to be one of them people, because like personally for me, there's so many influencers I've grown up watching and they've got to this age where like they've got all their money they need, they only post when it's adverts, and it just doesn't seem very authentic. But also their posts aren't consistent of them, it's just their posts are consistent of money. As someone personally, I always say to my management, like, I don't want to just be a girl that posts ads every day. Of course it's amazing being able to make money and do what I'm doing, but I don't see this as just a job. I see this as a hobby and I see it as fun. And I think that's one thing to keep in your mind from the beginning to the end, is to make sure that you're keeping everything you're doing fun. I know it's still a job, you can still make it fun as well as a job, and it doesn't have to be really annoying. Also, make sure you're engaging with your followers. If I could say one thing to people, it's when people I've met at like Top Fest or meet and greets and they're really, really cold with their followers, or they're like, I don't want to hug so-and-so because they smell, whatever. Don't ever be that girl. Don't ever be that boy. Make sure you're really, really loving with your followers, because the main thing I could say is that I've had a very, very strong fandom for a while now, and it's genuinely the most amazing feeling in the world. But also to know that no matter what, you've kind of got like that strong following behind you. It gives you kind of a sense of like comfort, and it's just really nice to have. And I think, why would you want to be one of them influencers that hardly ever engages with their followers when you could be the one that is? And brands also love it too. They love content creators that actually give back to their followers and that communicate with their followers. Someone's asked me, like, do you need a camera and what kind of equipment would you recommend? You do not need a camera to start off with. If you're doing YouTube, for example, you don't need to start off with some expensive £500 camera, because you never know, you might get bored of it. And I think that's always one thing I definitely say is, don't buy everything straight away. See if you like it. If you're really enjoying it, grow, and then progressively think about, oh well, maybe with this money from YouTube I can then buy myself a camera, or I've been saving up for the camera, I'll get it now because I've been doing it for 3 months. Don't just go in with a camera, a ring light and all these things that are quite pricey, because you get bored and it's not something you actually want to do. Then you might turn around and be like, actually I don't want to do this, and you spent all that money for nothing. So I definitely recommend beginning with starting off with a phone. On your TikToks, obviously it's fine to have a phone anyways. For your Instagram, take it on your phone, or if you don't have a phone and you're using your mum's, just use your mum's phone. Genuinely, it does not matter to have equipment. Obviously it's better for YouTube videos and like the quality, but personally right now I'm literally on my phone because I've got to send this over so quickly to my sister who edits my videos. But you do not need all this bougie equipment to start off with. Start it slow, and if you feel like, oh, in a few months time I'm gonna aim to get myself a ring light for Christmas or something like that, do it, but don't go straight into it because you never know. And for me, I think natural lighting is always better than ring light lighting, but that's just personal preference. Someone's also asked what's the appropriate time to get equipment. I feel like when you feel like it's right and you're ready to take this a step further, then I definitely recommend. And when I mean equipment, I mean maybe a ring light, a tripod, a camera, a phone tripod if you just want to vlog on your phone or film on your phone for that stability. There's all sorts of kind of equipment you can get on Amazon, online. I really recommend for camera, I use a Sony one. I'll leave like the name of it on the screen because I actually don't know the name of it. Or Canon G7X is a good one. And ring light, I use Newer. Spin it on the screen as well. And maybe I'll leave a few links down below for you guys to get your hands on some of the equipment I use. But yeah, I just don't think you need to rush into buying equipment or anything like that. Be authentic and you'll literally do such a good job. Another thing is, obviously with brands you need a certain amount of following. People saying things like this. I have seen girls go from 1k 100 million and do ads with brands like Opoly, Pretty Little Thing, things like this. You do not need to have millions of followers to get brand deals. That is a complete nonsense. You don't need a management, you don't need any of these things, and I will get into managements as well in a minute. But I would say to begin with, obviously put your name out there, reach out to brands, but also authentic. Some brands really like it when you just like promote them with without them asking you to. So for example, if I was to have bought a top when I was younger from Pretty Little Thing, I might post in it and say, oh, I got this from Pretty Little Thing, I love it. Over time, the brands will see your work and see, oh, she's actually liked our brand for a really long time, let's get her on board for this campaign. Or, oh, we'll send her some clothes because she's always wearing our clothes. Things like that brands like. They don't want to just work with someone for the sake of working with them because of their following, because I just don't think that's right. And also being selective. If you've started the industry, you are going to get some very, very crappy brands that offer you things or things that you never even use in your life, but just because of the money you're taking it. And that is one thing, if I can give any advice, it would be, do not just take brand deals for the sake of it. Make sure they're authentic, make sure that you're selective, because also you don't want to have tons and tons of ads but you actually only like 2 of the products. You want, say, big ads with like 3 brands, but they're the 3 brands you're always using. Obviously you're going to go out your comfort zone and maybe promote some brands that you've never really used and it's the first time trying them. Don't get me wrong, I've done it a few times, but I'd always try lean to the brands I've worked with before to make sure that my brand image is always staying very authentic to me, and it's not like I'm just doing it for the paycheck. Because genuinely, the amount of brand deals I've turned down brand deals, I think there was one for like 45 grand that I've turned down and things like that. Like, there's big money in this and you're going to be tempted to just take it for the check, but you've got to stay authentic, because in the end of the day you'll get better brand deals than you will if you just take all the crap ones. Also, when you're young, be careful with what you're wearing. I always find that it's very, very hard to work with companies once people start using like lounge underwear at a young age. Also, be very careful with like your dressing, like how you're dressing. Don't wear too many like bikinis or like underwear at a young age, because a lot of companies will be put off by this and not want to work with you because like underage sexualized. Don't just rush into, oh, I'm going to do a year contract with you. Make sure that you've done like a 1-month trial. If they're giving you brand deals, great, amazing, let's start another 2-month trial, 3-month, 4-month, whatever. Don't just go straight into like a year contract, because it's hard to get out of, and if you're not getting any deals, you're going to be gutted when you could have went to, say, like another management that are giving you a lot more deals. Also being relatable, like I was kind of talking about earlier, touch topic again, was like people don't want to see influencers or content creators that only show the pros in their life. Obviously it's amazing and you're gonna want to show like, oh, I went to this concert, I done this, I went on this holiday, but always try and make sure it's like a content creator yourself that you say like, oh, I had a really bad day today, but I'm sure tomorrow will be better. Like, just kind of touch ground with yourself and make sure that all your followers know that it's okay not to be okay. Because for me, I'm a teenage girl, I go through so many different emotions, hormones, and I think it's so important to be able to show people like it's okay to have a bad day or like whatever. And I'd never ever want people to ever like, I don't know, just show like they're only good and positives, because it's okay to show that you're not always good. Like, people aren't going to think, oh, she's got such a crap life because she cried this one day. Like, it just shows that you're more real. I think people like real. And just kind of other things is like, obviously social media, you're making a lot of money if you do it well, but just like everything I've kind of said, if you do all of that good, you'll make money and you'll enjoy yourself, hopefully. But never take things too seriously, and don't get too disheartened if you don't grow straight away. It's a very, very big learning process, and I definitely say the biggest lesson I've learned from it all is that it takes time and it takes a lot of hard work and effort that people don't really appreciate. But you can be any age to start doing social media. You don't have to be my age, you don't even have to be 25 or 30. You can be literally 11 years of age, or you can be 50 years of age and you can be a mum with 20-year-olds and want to start doing social media. There is no age, and there is so many people that want to start doing it and they haven't done it because of people at school or things like that. And if anyone can tell you to not listen to people at school, it's me. I've literally had so much grief from people at my school, but if I'd listened to them, I would not be where I am now. So I'm so forever grateful that I didn't listen to them and I kept going, because without this, I literally don't know where I'd be right now. But literally doing social media has been one of the greatest things I've ever done in my life. So I definitely just say, please try it. Block out the negativity. If you want to do it, this is your sign to start. And if you want more of an in-depth, maybe even more of an in-depth, and you've got more questions, we can do a part 2 of this and I'll give you even more info for you guys to kind of take on board and learn more. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Make sure to give it a big thumbs up if you did. And if you want to see more like kind of me talking about things like this, or like maybe you want to see me do like advice video or something like that, I can always do that in the future. But yeah, love you all so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Just like, comment, subscribe.